episode of Progression Over Destination. In case this is your first time tuning in, my name is Jack Merrony and I'm joined by my co-host, Mathew Price. Last week we had an awesome time talking to Gavin Smith from Front Row Productions, and he gave us some incredible insight into the way that he works. This week we've got Jonny Williams. He's a professional sound engineer and the man behind Boombox, the wireless speaker system. We'll be talking to him not only about his career as an engineer, but also what it was like to create the Boombox and the hurdles he faced to get it from his living room in Brixton to the living rooms of world-famous musicians.
So, Jonny,
yes,
welcome to Progression Over Destination. This is episode, what, Jack? 5?
You're going to get it right this time. This is episode 5, yes.
So, as we do with everybody, state your name, your occupation, and your favourite beige snack, please.
my name is Jonny Williams. I am professionally a sound engineer, but I do a few things. And my favourite beige snack is probably... does a cookie count? Because they're pretty beige.
They are pretty
Yeah.
beige. Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I would say.
I say a cookie then.
We had a custard cream the other night.
Everyone's got a sweet tooth with us lately. Jack.
Yeah, we'll have to do a top 10 top charts of beige snacks. Yeah, we'll have to do that. What type of cookie though? Like a Maryland?
I quite like I like a chocolate chip, or I quite like cookies that have raisins in.
Oatmeal and raisin.
Yeah, oatmeal and raisin is a bag of cookies.
Subway.
Especially if they're like a little bit soft.
Ah,
Nice.
Bit gooey.
beautiful.
All right, so you are not just a sound tech, you're also the owner, partner? You've got a partnership with Boombox.
I'm the founder of Boombox. I have silent business partners, but it's mostly me.
So how did you start Boombox as a business? Did you get any funding or help from anyone?
So it started off as a bit of a sort of curiosity. Obviously, being a sound engineer, I care about music sounding good, and I was just getting a little bit fed up with little Bluetooth speakers, wireless speakers, just sounding a bit crap, and thought I'd have a go at making my own one. So the first thing I did was I got an old suitcase from eBay and I put car speakers in it and built a little circuit and everything. And
No way.
yeah, you could plug in.
That's class.
It wasn't wireless. You'd plug into it with a little mini jack from your phone when phones still had jack connections. And just play the tunes, but it ran on batteries and everything. Recharge it, and then I built another one and made it a bit better, and then I decided that I was gonna design my own box and just go from there. And it was just a bit of a hobby really in my living room when I lived in London, and then people started wanting to buy them. So
Yeah. How long ago was this, huh?
so I think I had that idea in 2014, so 6 years ago, and then I made the first one at the very beginning of 2015, I think.
Amazing.
I know this answer, but who's the most famous person that's bought one of your boomboxes?
Well, there's a few. The most famous is probably between either Lady Gaga or Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
Amazing.
Both.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I bet you never thought, like, sat in your bedroom tinkering with an old suitcase and some speakers, that fucking Steve Tyler from Aerosmith.
Well, I didn't think anyone was going to buy them.
That's true, yeah. That's so good.
So would you ever swap your sound engineering skills for something else? So say, for example, I wanted to put a gig on and I'd be like, Jonny, I'm going to give you a tattoo for maybe a boombox, or you could do the sound on a gig that I'm organising. Have you ever done that sort of trading stuff?
Yeah, I have to. Let me think. Yeah, I have done that actually. Actually, the guy that registered all my trademarks for Boombox did it for a Boombox. So the lawyer that did that. Obviously, lawyers are very expensive, but he it was a bit weird because another name drop here. I sold 2 to Tom Petty, and one of them was going to America. and they said, rather than ship it, we've got a lawyer who's flying over tomorrow. If you can take it to Heathrow, he'll just bring it with him. So I went and met this lawyer. And he took the boombox off of him, but like we were talking about it, and he had a look at it in the case, and he loved it. And then he messaged me a bit later on and was like, because he was actually British, lives over here, and he said, "Do you want any like?" He said, "I'm an IP lawyer, intellectual property, so I register trademarks and patents and stuff. If you need any of that stuff, I'll do it for you. You just give me a boombox, and then you'll have to pay the registration fee, but I won't have to pay him for his time.
Amazing.
So give me a boombox." And I was like, cool. So gave him a boombox rather than paying thousands of pounds, which was great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So there's been a few little things like that. Yeah.
So how do you feel about your people in the industry as well that are really good at what they do? And are you checking out people's sort of performances? And like you probably in a group of friends now that are sound techs, you might be in group chats with these sorts of people. Do you like go watch gigs and like listen to their sound?
Do you know, I kind of limit myself to going to watch one gig per year that I'll buy a ticket for. So it's got to be like a really special gig. Like last year, I went to see Hall & Oates, which was great, in Wembley Arena. So I bought a ticket for that. And the year before, I went to see Gomez. And I usually just buy one a year. But the reason is that when I go to gigs, in my head, I'm just analysing everything. I can't switch off. Yeah. So if there's something that's not quite right in the sound mix, I'm like, it'll just bug me for an hour and a half. Or if like...
Horrible.
If one of the lights has like died and it's constantly just shining purple or something, I can't switch off. That's me just focused on that light then for an hour and a half.
Like a moth to a flame.
Yeah, and I mean, like I go to so many gigs per year working that I don't need to go to anymore.
Yeah.
But sometimes if I'm at a festival and there's a really good lineup, I'll go and like catch some of the other bands.
Amazing. So the same sort of question, but relying to boombox as well. Like, do you ever check like other people's work out that is like they're doing the same sort of thing as you? Like, are you on media just like, oh, that's a really cool design? So there's a couple of like, there's one company in particular that is the only one that's kind of similar to boombox, and they're a Dutch company called Thodio. Have you ever seen those ammo can boxes? Green ammo cans. So they make those speakers, but then they also do a wooden one, which is what the boombox originally was. It was made of wood. So that's the only thing that's kind of close. And you know, I've never seen one of theirs in the flesh, but I've checked them out online and looked at the specs. But the spec doesn't hold up to what the boombox is. Yeah. I'm sure they're great. But yeah, there's some cool like people in America that build like homemade boomboxes. I followed them all on Instagram. But yeah, that's it really. I mean, like the boombox for me is like I didn't take anybody else's speakers and take them apart. I built it from nothing to make it sound like I wanted it to sound, and then make it look like I wanted it to look. So. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really taken inspiration from anyone else's designs. Because that was the whole point of it, is that I wanted to make a speaker that was different.
Yeah, that must have been really difficult to like even start, I guess. Or would it have been?
Well, yeah.
You already had a vision in your mind.
It took 2 years until it was good enough in my head and my eyes. Obviously, like being a professional sound engineer, I can't put out something that sounds even like a tiny bit crap. It's got to sound amazing.
Yeah.
So it took 2 years of like building something and then being like, oh, that's not quite right. I need to change this, and sort of back and forth, trial and error, quite a bit. But now it's great.
You fine-tuned everything, and now it's just like shifting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Like you speak about that Dutch company. Like, is there any room to collaborate with like other speaker companies, speaker producers within the industry, or?
Yeah, I think probably. But the thing for me is it would have to be another British brand, because like the whole thing about boombox is it's handmade in England.
Yeah.
I started it in my living room when I lived in Brixton, and then I had 2 shipping containers for a couple of years in Brixton, where they're all handmade. So like if you look at the branding, it all says London, England on it, and like one of the logos incorporates the Union Jack. So it would have to be another British brand, and there isn't really anyone else doing it over here.
But you've had people collaborate like artist-wise, haven't you, with like the outside?
Yeah, so all of we did like a series of different boomboxes where I got artists to design one, but they were all British.
Yeah.
Cool. Like we did a few different things. Like one of them was basically sketched all over. She drew like it was like a mural of London, so it had like the London Eye and Tower Bridge and like I think it had like a telephone box and stuff like that. And she did it all by hand, drew it with pen, and then like coloured it in with pen. So that was a really cool one. And then we've had like graffiti artists. We had an artist from Bristol who does like digital landscapes, and he did like this. Well, it was a spacescape actually, so it had like planets and stars and stuff.
And they're limited editions, right? One of one.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, the one we did for Steven Tyler was designed by the same girl that did the hand-drawn London one, but she did it on a computer, the Steven Tyler one.
What did you do, like, load of dicks?
I don't know who would want that one. You probably.
I love that one. I'll take that one.
So we speak to a lot of our guests, and a lot of them live by a certain motto or mantra. Is there anything that you live by, or is there anything that you tell yourself constantly to keep you motivated or keep you going?
I mean, yeah, I'm not usually afraid to try things. I've done so many different random things in my life. I think I try almost anything once, as long as it's got nothing to do with heights.
Not a fan of heights, then.
You wouldn't catch me jumping out of a plane.
Same.
But yeah, and just like. And like, if I try something, I won't stop until I've succeeded, at some level.
Yeah. And what happens then? Do you just stop?
Depends how much I'm enjoying it, how expensive it is.
Yeah, I feel like I'm quite similar in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't like being average at loads of things. I'd rather just do something and do it well.
Like, didn't you recently get into Forbes magazine, Johnny? Or not recently?
I was in Forbes in 2018. I got into Forbes when I was 30.
What an achievement.
That's amazing. Yeah. What was the article about?
It was about me starting Boombox and being an entrepreneur.
Amazing.
But they used a picture of me holding a boombox where I was wearing jeans, an open flannel shirt, and a backwards Kangol hat. That long, like, shoulder length hair. It's like I must be the scruffiest person to ever be in Forbes. But I'm proud of it.
That's good. Have you got it framed up anywhere in your house?
You know what, right? Last week, I ordered a load of prints for my house. So I've ordered like all the computer drawings of the boombox and stuff so I can put them up. And I completely forgot about the Forbes article. And I remembered today and I thought, I probably, I should get at least one thing of me with the boombox. Or probably do
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to shy away from that achievement.
Yeah.
Like, I've not even been in the Narberth Breeze.
Yeah, but you're so famous around Narberth, mate. You don't need to be in any publications.
I want to be in the Offers magazine where you can get it. So your job is heavily music based.
Yeah.
What sort of music do you listen to build your boom boxes and get focused and motivated?
It's funny. So I mainly work in pop music, which is a bit odd. So I don't listen to pop music when I'm at home. I actually listen to a lot of country music.
Fair.
So at the moment, I'm listening to Casey Musgraves quite a lot, and just happy sing along country vibes.
Have you heard the Joe Exotic's country songs?
Yeah, but apparently he didn't actually sing any of them.
He did not. No.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, I have heard them. They're not as terrible as you'd expect.
That's because he didn't sing it.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I listen to anything. Like, I love like hard rock music as well. Just AC stuff like that. Yeah.
With like that like sort of music, who have you worked with that you like really admire?
One of my favorite artists that I tour with is this an electronic duo called Maribou State, and when they play live, they take a band, and when we do like big shows, we have an orchestra and a choir and stuff. So I've been all over the world with them numerous occasions, and that's probably my favorite one to do.
That's the one I'm really gutted that I missed out on meeting him.
Oh yeah, you were meant to come. Yeah, that was a good show.
In New York.
Yeah, they played in New York. When I was out there, Jonny was out there, and I was in Long Island, and Greg was like, "Oh, you got the tattoo of this car on my brother. It'll only take you like 2 hours." I was like, "Oh, okay." He turned up, and it was like full color realism, and I was like, "That's like 6 hours work. Like, there's no way I could pull that off in 2 hours." And I was working until like 12 o'clock at night, and I was like, "Oh, I could." I was like, "Could I just do a session on it tomorrow?" And I was just like, no, I didn't. So in the end, I like finished at 12, and then Ian tattooed my hands. So I was like, I got my hands tattooed, but I didn't get to meet up with you guys, and I was absolutely gutted.
It was a good show.
So obviously, being on tour and stuff, you get a lot of and you're touring with one band or you're touring with another band, then you've got boombox going. Do you ever feel that you're like really overwhelmed with the way that your business is run? So obviously there's like two parts of your business, and
you've got a lot going on. Like, do you find it difficult to like spin all those plates?
It's better now than it was, because I have 2 business partners, and they have a warehouse. So their primary company is like distribution for professional audio products for like touring and installations in like churches and stuff like that, speakers and things. So I've now actually moved my boombox setup into their warehouse because it's massive.
Yeah.
So I don't have, or boombox doesn't have its own warehouse anymore. It's now incorporated into this one, and we have a big stock of finished boomboxes that are just all boxed up, ready to be sent out, and they just sit on the shelves. So if we get an order in, my business partners just put like a postage label on it and send it out now. So we're not making them at the moment because we've got a big stock that we're selling.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one, man. Like, I've seen prices it is, and
the grey one,
stunning.
Yeah, the grey one's my favourite one as well. I like it.
Yeah. It is nice.
I made a shelf for it on my shed so I can take it and put it on the outside of my shed.
I hope it's safe.
Yeah, it's fine, man. I know the guy.
You know the guy who builds it. It's pretty durable.
It's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like, I went over to see Alistair as well the other week, who's got Alistair Duvall's got probably like one of the first ones, isn't he? Has he got one of the first ones?
Yeah, he's got an original one, Mark 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like bomb-proof, isn't it? He's just got it like every day on in work. It's like, and you go into his workshop, and like, if any of you like obviously don't know Alistair, he's like, Alistair runs a classic motorbike workshop in Pembrokeshire, and it's just like oil and grease and Alistair.
Alistair. Being all Pembrokeshire.
He'd be a good character to get on here, wouldn't he?
You should get him on here. He's a proper character.
You have to drop him a message, Pricey. That'd be quite good.
Yeah. So, we've got a new question that we haven't asked anyone before. You're an inventor. You're someone that's really technical and handy. What life hacks do you have to share with us?
Or just general life hacks? Yeah, I've got an amazing one. Right. So, I've been doing a lot of DIY lately. If you're drilling a hole in like a wall, it could be plasterboard or masonry, whatever, and all the dust falls down, and it goes, like, if you're doing plasterboard, you just get red all over your carpet and down the wall, right? To stop that, get a little envelope and just tape it underneath the hole, and then all the
Yeah.
dust just goes into the envelope.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Genius.
I've got one for you. Apparently, if you can't find the edge of your cling film, you put it in the freezer, and then when it goes in the freezer, it's easier to peel back.
Yeah, but how long are you going to be waiting to use your cling film?
It's urgent cling film use. I need it now.
The food's gone off by then.
Jack, you got any?
I don't have any, no.
Nothing.
I'm not really handy, to be honest, at all. I kind of leave it all to my dad. Fortunately, I think I took all my mum's talents, which is music and like being creative and all that stuff. So, any life hacks?
You told me a life hack earlier on, Jack, didn't you?
No, I'm not telling you that one. That's wild.
So, if you're like on the road and everything all the time, what do you do to wind down, man? Like when you're back home, like off tour, or like?
I wait for Boris to lock the country down, and I stay at home. No, I live out in the Forest of Dean in Gloucestershire, so I do a lot of mountain biking. There's some really good trails in the mountains around here, so do a lot of mountain biking. I also have a Triumph motorbike that I take out. That's really good for just sort of forgetting the world.
Nice.
Very
nice.
Yeah, I mean, I live out in the countryside, so there's just lots of places to go walking, and I do photography as well. So every week, I'm in like a photography group. It's just online, and they set a challenge every week, and I submit every Sunday evening. So I do that as well.
That's cool. What's the group called?
It's called 52 Frames.
Okay.
So this week's challenge is slow shutter rate. So it's like when you drop something in a glass of water and it splashes out and you catch the splash.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's this week's. I haven't done it yet. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Fast shutter rate or slow shutter rate? Low exposure?
Slow. Well, the shutter's open for longer. So yeah, it's like longer.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Cool.
So
That's awesome.
like obviously, has COVID affected your business with Boombox, do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, no one's got any money to buy anything, so like sales.
Wanted to listen to music. Would you think that?
Well, I mean, people that have already got boomboxes and are at home are probably using them all the time. I actually had a guy last week get in touch because he thought he had an issue with his, but he didn't. He was just being silly. But he was like, I'm using it every day, like all the time. Like, I've got one in my kitchen that I listen to every day. So I've had a few friends like you messaged me the other day and showed me your shelf with the boombox on. I had another friend last week saying I'm sat in the garden with the boombox going. So yeah, they're getting used.
Yeah, they're such a good thing though, man. They're like the quality of the sound is so good.
Yeah, they're great.
Like it's really loud but really clear. It's like
I feel like I need to get one for work because the one we've got in work at the moment, like when you put on a good song and you're like, so we've got a Google thing, so we say, okay, Google, like 100%, you expect it to go like fucking through the roof, and it's pathetic. So
like these companies, it's like they've got so much money to like plow into marketing and stuff that they can sell them to anyone, whereas like, because I'm just a guy from Narberth. I don't have all that money to plow into it to get the sort of exposure it needs, and that's the main problem with it, is that people don't know it exists, but like when people actually see it and they hear it, it's like, oh wow, that actually does sound really good.
So where do you see Boombox in a year's time? Well,
the aim was we just created like a glossy brochure to give to retailers. So we're trying to get it into a store, but obviously that's not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, I'd like to get it into a retailer, because at the moment the only place you can buy it is through our website. But if it's on a shelf in like in some kind of high-end store in London or something, then it's going to get seen by the sort of clientele that we sort of aim it at.
Yeah.
We'll see one day.
What about the sound tech side of stuff, man? Where do you see like your sound tech work in a year's time?
Where do you see the industry going now after all this? How do you think the industry is going to spin on its head?
All of my tours for this entire year have been cancelled. I was booked until the end of November, and pretty much within like a week they all got canned. Most of the people I know have had like all of their tours cancelled for the year, but I can't see large format concerts coming back this year, because the last thing the government wants is thousands of people stood shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Fine. Well, not confined, but in a space. But yeah, I've kind of accepted the fact that I'm probably not going to be mixing gigs this year. But
with Gav, when things we were speaking to Gav Smith, and he like when we touched base with him with all the stuff, he said that like he was away in Canada when everything hit. Were you out on tour or anything when it hit?
I was in Australia. Yeah.
Okay. So what
So
happened?
I was in Australia. We came back just before Australia sort of locked their borders and stopped letting people in. But when we went out there on the plane, they were handing out A4 leaflets talking about the virus and what to do if you felt ill, and they were getting people to fill in like questionnaires. People had already gone mad and taken all the toilet roll in all the Aussie shops. And then I was seeing on the news that it was happening over here, so I took all the toilet roll from the hotels and put it in my suitcase and brought it back.
Amazing.
But yeah, I was in Melbourne, and we were in a few places, but I was in Melbourne at one point, and the Grand Prix was meant to be happening that weekend, and it was the Thursday, which is like when they sort of do the sort of opening ceremony and warm-ups and stuff. And I watched the aerial acrobatics above, like the planes looping around and stuff. So they basically opened the event, and then on the Friday they binned it off.
Wow! Oh my god!
And then they started shutting everything down, and we were flying out on the Friday to come back.
Who were you on tour with at the time then?
That was a girl called Freya Ridings.
Okay. Yeah. I've been listening to her actually. She's on a playlist I've been listening to lately.
Oh, she's good. She's really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Florence, isn't she?
Yeah, she gets compared quite a lot to Florence and Adele. They kind of say she's a bit of a mixture.
Yeah.
What's her name? I'll
Freya
keep
Ridings.
Gotcha.
Freya's dad. Here's a fact for you. Freya's dad is the voice of Daddy Pig in Peppa Pig.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
That's fun. Dad, a cartoon pig.
Maybe that's yours. 6 degrees of removal, whatever your question is, Pricey.
Oh, that one.
How close can you get to Peppa Pig's father?
I don't know who to say to Johnny, actually, who he could get to. So we have a new question that we brought in last week, and it is who you can get to via 6 degrees of separation. So I'm trying to think of someone that I don't know if you'll be able to get to. Jack, I'm going to leave this one to you.
Kevin Hart.
That's a good one.
Kevin Hart. See, that's difficult because I'm not in the comedy world.
But he's also in the movie industry. And the movie industry do concerts?
I really don't know how I would get there. I mean, I told Jay-Z to fuck off once.
Really?
Yeah. And I told him to fuck himself.
Can you repeat that again? Because I was talking then. What was it?
I said, I told Jay-Z to fuck himself.
There's the episode title.
I don't know him. I mean, I've got RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan's number, so if he knows RZA, then I can get to him.
I reckon you can get to in sub 6.
You could easily there. So I don't know. Maybe I'll ask you again. Can you get to Joe Pasquale?
Pasquale. I would love to get to Joe Pasquale. I think that would actually be quite easy. I mean, what? I know people that are way more famous than Joe Pasquale. So
you could go. Think you work with All Saints. Well, you actually played. Didn't you play guitar on a TV show with All Saints at one point?
Yeah, in Australia that was. Yeah, the guitarist got food poisoning, so I filled in. live on the biggest morning show in Australia.
Bloody hell!
No, it's quite good fun. And I had a raging hangover.
Oh no!
Being on the set.
That's a day to remember.
Yeah, no, it was funny. It was really funny. What was the question? Oh, Joe Pasquale. I mean, does he know All Saints? I can't imagine he's the kind of person they'd hang out with.
Well,
Joe Pasquale knows everybody.
So I'm going to go through the route for me of he probably knows that All Saints know Jonathan Ross.
Yeah.
Do you think Jonathan Ross has interviewed him?
I mean, where even is Joe Pasquale now? I literally haven't seen him on TV for years.
He's probably
Didn't he have that song like, I know a song like, Get On? Or, is that him?
no.
I don't know.
Get On Your Nerves song. It's the only one I remember him by.
I don't know.
So we're on number 10 now, Jack, are we?
Yes, yeah.
Go on, you go.
Yeah. So without this coronavirus thing all going on, we usually ask people if there's anything exciting in the pipeline. You said you were booked up until November. What tour was that you were going to be going out on?
I'm actually not allowed to say.
Fair enough. Was there anything after that you were lined up on to go on to?
I had a few other things that I had on. I was going to be doing more stuff with Freya, and then I was doing. So I'm also a production manager, which is actually what I do more of these days. Which means I'm basically in charge of all of the technical and the logistics sort of aspect of putting concerts together. Yeah. So like I oversee like every department. So anyway, so I was going to be production managing for Ella Ear and Lily Allen in the summer.
Nice.
And then I was going on to something else in September, which is the one I'm not allowed to say. And then next year, if Maribou State's album is ready, then I imagine they'll be touring and I'll go back out with them.
So a lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Are you kind of numb to it now?
Do you know what? I was actually planning on retiring from touring at the end of this year.
No.
Yeah, I've done it for 16 years now, and it's just I don't really want to live out of a suitcase anymore. I've seen the world, done some mad things, and got some great stories. But
yeah,
I'm at that point like in my life now where I just kind of like being at home.
You just want your creature comforts and just chill out. And
I mean, yeah, what's the point in having a nice house if I can't sit in it?
Yeah.
You can tell Jay-Z to fuck himself. So it's like...
I've already done that.
Why did you tell him to go fuck himself?
I was at Glastonbury with Pendulum, but this was almost 10 years ago. I was there with Pendulum, and Pendulum were playing just before Beyonce on Pyramid Stage. She was headlining it. And I think Plan B was on stage playing, and we were on next. And we had to get everything set up, sort of backstage, side of stage, get everything ready, because the changeovers are only half an hour. It's not long when you've got loads of equipment. Jay-Z and Kanye West were just stood in the wing watching Plan B. And I'd noticed them, and I knew it was Jay-Z, but Kanye West had those stupid glasses on with like the slits in them, you know, the plastic ones.
I fucking hate those.
Yeah, like what even are they? But he had those on, so I didn't recognize him. Anyway, Jay-Z stood right in the way, both of them are, of where I need to put all this equipment. So I asked him nicely if he could just move, because I needed to put something there. And he just kind of blanked me, and I was like, all right, mate. So I kind of left it and went and did something else. And I came back and asked him again, and he was like, I'm watching the band. And I was like, right. Didn't really know what to do because I was only like, I think it was 23 at the time. So I went and said to our drum tech, who was like in his 40s and has been doing this like all his life. I was like, Martin, Jay-Z's over there, like right where we need to put all this stuff. And I've asked him nicely and he won't move. What do you reckon I should do? He went, just tell him to fuck off. I was like, okay. So I went back and I asked him nicely once again, and he was just like adamant he wasn't moving, and I just told him to fuck off, basically. And then I kind of, because all of our stuff is on wheels, I just kind of pushed it into where he was, and then he had to move. So
amazing.
That's
fucking incredible.
Yeah.
So,
oh god,
can you give us a bit of a list over the last 16 years of the nicest people you've met on tour?
That I've met. Do you know what? It's usually like the more famous they are, the nicer they are. The worst ones are the ones that were once famous and are trying to cling on to the fame. They're the nasty ones.
The Klingons.
Yeah, the Klingons, the divas. Like nice people, like Kylie Minogue. She's really lovely. Like Rita Ora's nice. Just like people that are just really famous. Just
Can you have one of your boom boxes off you as well?
Both of them have got boom boxes.
Oh yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're both custom ones
That's
as well.
pretty incredible, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
are there any like personal life changing moments that you feel have defined you, and like if you prefer not to air what's happened to you, that's totally fine.
There's definitely been events on tour that have made me think about my life. and yeah, I think nowadays I'm definitely a lot maybe calmer, not like an excited puppy anymore. When I'm, when everyone else is like, because there's still like new artists that I start working with who've never been on tour, never been on a tour bus, get very excited, and they tend to get carried away. Whereas I'll just do the gig and go to bed now.
whereas you used to stay up and party with them.
Yeah, I'll wake up now at 7:30 on the bus, and everyone else is still awake.
Oh my god!
But yeah, it's got to that sort of point now. But that was definitely me at one point.
Just getting steaming all the time on the
Just
ride.
getting steaming and just getting into all sorts of situations. I mean, I'm surprised I'm either 1, not dead, or 2, in jail.
What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you then?
That you want to air.
One of the weirdest things was, it's quite a long story, which I'm going to have to cut a bit short, but I ended up in this car in Phoenix, Arizona. So there's me and 2 mates, and these 2 girls. One of them was driving the car, and she was giving us a lift back to our hotel because we'd been out in this club. And anyway, we got in the car that was parked in this car park. It was like a 4x4, and there was a police car patrolling the perimeter of this car park. And the girl that was driving she wasn't pulling away to like head back to our hotel. And I was like, why aren't we moving? And she's like, I'm just waiting for the police car to go. And I didn't really think anything of it. And I was like, oh, right, whatever, because I was hammered. And anyway, the police car goes, and she starts driving. We're driving down this freeway, and she's like swerving all over the place. And at that moment, I realised she's absolutely hammered as well. I thought she was sober. But in America, they just don't give a shit, and they go and get wrecked, and then they drive home.
Yeah.
But I wasn't used to it at this point. Anyway, so she's hammered, and I'm in this car, and I'm like, oh my god. Anyway, going down the freeway, and then to make it worse, this guy just pops up in the boot. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And anyway, so he had a load of drugs on him, because he'd been like in the club just dealing loads of drugs, and he was friends with these girls, and I was like, I'm in a really bad situation now. If we get pulled over, we're all going to jail. Anyway, we managed to make it to the hotel without getting pulled over or crashing. So that was good. And then we broke into the rooftop hot tub, and that was good.
Hey!
That's the end of the story, really.
That's amazing.
Sounds like a really good story.
But yeah, that was one of those moments. That whole weekend was just mad.
Amazing. So, do you want to ask us anything before you leave?
I'm trying to think of a really random question that's not related to anything. Oh, actually, what tattoo have you got, Pricey, that are you ashamed of any tattoos?
I know there's one he's ashamed of.
I'm getting one lasered off at the minute.
Oh, so maybe that one.
That's my ex-wife's writing.
Writing? Oh dear.
Her writing.
Yeah.
So that's a horrific one.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have one.
Do you? What a bad one.
That's still there to this day in my mind. Even though Pricey tried to cover it up.
So basically what happened, Johnny, Hugh Hefner died. And Jack came to me that day, and I was like, let's do a Playboy bunny with a tear in his eye. And he was like, oh, no. And I was like, it's a really good idea. Let's do it. Let's do that. And he was like, no. So we were warned by a few people that it was a bad idea, but we carried on. So I put a Playboy bunny with a tear coming on his face.
A glittery 3-inch Playboy bunny on my leg.
Oh, I know.
It was amazing. I wish I
had. Now you covered it up.
Yeah, with a bigger Playboy bunny.
Yeah. 4 tears.
Yeah. Yeah, not good. That's my only shameful tattoo.
You went up with your mum, didn't you, Jack? Your missus?
I did. No, I don't. Not for my mum, for my missus, my partner.
Did Jane just give you the disappointment face?
She just gave me such a disappointed look and the tat.
What do you like?
Yeah.
Do you want to plug any of your social media while you're on? Do you want to tell us where
we can find Boombox?
So Boombox has an Instagram, which is Boombox, which is spelled BOOMBOCS. So it's Boombox Official. And it's also on Facebook. I think it's under the same username, actually, same tag, whatever you call it. Or you can go to boombox.com.
Cool.
That's amazing.
I'll leave all those links in the description anyway, and
yeah, nice.
If you guys want to click on that, you're more than welcome to. Go check it out.
Thanks for being on with us, Johnny. It's been
thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, good stories.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, no worries. Anytime.
But yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Catch you later.
See you later.
Cheers, Johnny. Appreciate it, man.
All right, bye.
Once again, a massive thank you for tuning in to another episode of Progression Over Destination. We really hope you enjoyed this one. I know we did. Don't forget that you can check out the show notes on www.progressionoverdestination.co.uk. And if you enjoyed, please leave us a message on any of our socials. Our handle is @ProgressionOverDestination. We'll catch up with you next time where we have Hannah Morgan from Heads Above the Waves.
Destination.